Nothing I say in this video is mine, and everything I say comes from someone on TikTok. Fire Spirit Cookie Analysis and Theories featuring Pattaya Dragon Cookie, Hollyberry Cookie, and Eternal Sugar Cookie. Theories on his backstory, his relations to other guardians, his Hollyberryan origins, and relevancy in Eternal Sugar's update. First off, I think we need to address the rune present on Fire Spirit's design, specifically the reversed Athala. This rune represents the inability to find joy, connection, or security in family heritage, sometimes even meaning lost of home. The regular rune's description is here for reference. Symbolizes home, community, identity, and the physical and spiritual legacy of past and present generations. Athala is unreversed on Fire Spirit's Cookie Run Kingdom costume, Wings of Fire. I don't have a clue why this is. Feel free to theorize. I would also like to mention the non-reversed description of Athala encapsulates Wind Archer very well. It's no doubt that Fire Spirit has a lust for power and absolutely despises the notion of being weak. Every time his power is threatened, he becomes extremely defensive and will often blame himself, rightfully or not, for his inaction. However, outwardly, he never admits it. However, this lust for power and control, even, is what drives him insane. In his Cookie Run Oven Break costume, Immortal Cataclysm, he quite literally kills everyone and is the only cookie left on Earthbread. Yes, I mean everyone, including Millennial Tree and Timekeeper. But at the same time, it also drives him into a deep depression. In Fire Spirit's Cookie Run Oven Break costume, Lord of Ash, he isolates himself from everyone and the other guardians to stop the spread of corruption, but falls into a deep depression because of it. He's the only guardian to not get corrupted by the darkness. And what's more is that Fire Spirit knows this. He's aware of what his power is doing to his psyche and doesn't attempt to deny that he's a bad person. But does that mean he'll stop? No. Not only does he have to stay strong for himself, but for the valley in general. He constantly talks about slacking off, but weirdly enough, he seems surprised that there's even monsters in the Dragon's Valley. Let me remind you that the Dragon's Valley is a volcanic wasteland. If anything, that should be a breeding ground for monsters. Either only dragons can survive this condition, which wouldn't make sense because Molotado says they mine here. Dragons kill off most monsters, or it's safe enough under Fire Spirit's control. While we're here, let's remind ourselves that Dragon's Valley is right next to the Hollyberry Kingdom. Here is not my theory on what happened. Fire Spirit was born in the Hollyberry Kingdom, royalty or not, it doesn't matter. Potentially, back then, he was either too weak or unconfident. This is something he regrets to a fault. This was a very long time ago, likely thousands of years. My personal guess is that it was before White Lily's contract with Pattaya Dragon, and after hearing the story with Fire Spirit, she gained the idea to make the contract in the first place. Whatever this event was, it really messed him up, so much so that his immediate thought was, I need to get stronger. This is when he would go to Pattaya Dragon and start worshipping them in an attempt to not only protect what's left, but also himself. Either due to his family or himself, some big event happened that was about Fire Spirit's family. Remember this line? I guess I should have known cookies like her are lurking around. I personally think it implies that he knows that even if he keeps the valley safe, traitors and enemies will always be amiss, and you need to be vigilant. Personal experience, basically. This is when the main events of Fire Spirit's story would happen, taking the Red Dragon's bead, drinking lava, and then becoming the element of fire. It's why I think he was so kind to Habanero Cookie, even if he wanted to fight them originally, and why he wasn't kind to Sherbet Cookie. Habanero Cookie is impulsive but confident, always taking the next step into adventure. Fire Spirit commends that because it reminds him of himself, but that doesn't mean he'll go down easily or completely trust him. Sherbet Cookie, on the other hand, isn't either. Sure, he likes to explore, but his revival was not out of his own volition or of any personal strength of his own. Not only that, he's from a foreign place that Fire Spirit evidently doesn't trust. He has no respect for Sherbet Cookie for that reason. He thinks of himself as stronger. Does he not respect most of the Guardians then? I don't have definite proof, but it's more than likely than not that yes, he doesn't. Reminder that not respecting doesn't mean hating. It's more so seeing as someone beneath you, either generally or in some aspects. Fire Spirit likely doesn't respect most of the Guardians because they were born with their power. Unlike him, Frost Queen is an exception. I have no idea what their dynamic actually is. Sea Fairy barely does her duties and was frozen for years. Moonlight is always sleeping, etc. Even if he slacks off, he might think he's better due to his circumstances. What about Wind Archer? Wind Archer and Fire Spirit do seem to be close friends and to be the exception to this rule, and that's because of something I said earlier. Wind Archer is not only extremely hardworking, but also retains all the qualities of the Othala rune. He's deeply connected with the forest, Sugar Swan, and the tree, and will do anything to protect them, similarly to what Fire Spirit wants to be. Wind Archer has all of the qualities that Fire Spirit wants to have. One fun fact before I go, Fire Spirit is the only cookie that is canonically suicidal.